mottled skin stretched across her throat where he had clipped her vocal cords, seared the wound shut with a heated knife blade. Her dirty feet hung several inches above the floor, kicked in vain for the ground beneath her. She was completely naked. An unwilling audience sat just inches away from her. Seated on the floor in a semicircle was a large handful of girls. None were far into their 20s. All were in some stage of pregnancy. Every face was ashen and tear-stained. All looked like they might throw up at any moment. "See, now that we've hit the mute button, we can have some fun," Notch said. With one hand, he grabbed the girl by the hip, spun her in a clockwise direction until the leather thong binding her was wound tight, hefted his blade up next to her, released his grip, letting the tension spin her around. As the twisted thong unfurled, he pressed the tip of the knife against her skin, lowered it the length of her body. Bright red droplets spattered the concrete beneath her as a serpentine line striped her skin. Trails of blood seeped down in a circular pattern. Notch waited until she stopped spinning and smiled down at the girls seated on the floor. "I like to call that one the candy cane." Every last one of them tried to avert their eyes. Tears stained their already puffy cheeks. Tethered beside him, the girl continued to throw her head back in agony. No sound came out. His orders had been simple enough. Find the girl, bring her to this address, make an example of her. Her pain, his pleasure. Notch waited to make sure the effect found its mark, dropped the knife and picked up a pair of pliers. "Apparently, our little friend here has been doing some talking, trying to go back on her agreement." He held the pliers out in front of him and asked, "Do you all know what happens when you go back on your agreement?" In one quick movement, he thrust the pliers forward, clamped them onto the girl's front teeth, twisted them up at a 90-degree angle, snapping the incisors off at the gum line. "You get punished," Notch said, opened the pliers, and let the teeth drop to the cement. The girls in front of him, the ones that weren't already vomiting or trying to crawl away, recoiled in horror. The crowd was ready. Any further, and he ran the risk of losing them. It was time for the big finish. "I hope, for your sakes, that this is the last time we meet," Notch said, swapped out the pliers for the knife. "But if it isn't—" One wicked slash of the razor-honed blade was all it took. The thin white skin of the girl's abdomen gave no resistance. The steel carved her stomach like a jack-o'-lantern. 3 of the girls on the floor wrenched out every bit of food left in their system. The other 3 keeled straight back, passed out from shock. Notch never said another word. He didn't have to. He had been told to make an example of her. He had certainly done that. His money would be waiting on him when he left, a fact that made him smirk every time he thought about it. He would do this kind of work for free, no questions asked. Their pain, his pleasure. Chapter 2. First day of September, of the 3rd year of law school, of the reconvening of the zoo crew. Drake Bell was the first to arrive. He always was. The high beams from his truck cut a swath through the empty parking lot as he pulled in, illuminated the pine trees in front of him as he left the truck running and waited for the others to arrive. After 3 months back in his hometown in Tennessee, he could not get the cab or the truck warm enough. He was a Southern